Good morning. My name is Brad Crisp with the Wichita Fire Department. Joining me today is also Kate Johnson with the City of Wichita's environmental initiatives. The Wichita Fire Department and the City of Wichita is announcing a burn ban for the month of April. Effective immediately, no outdoor burning will be permitted with the exception of outdoor cooking grills. It matters not whether it's a barbecue grill that uses charcoal briquettes or a propane grill. Those will be allowed, but no other outdoor burning will be permitted. This is in response to state regulations that were enacted last year in 2011 that dealt with the Kansas Flint Hills Smoke Management Plan. During the burning in the Flint Hills, Wichita would experience higher levels of ozone and other types of air pollutants, and Wichita, the Wichita Fire Department and the City of Wichita are doing their part to implement a burn ban to help encourage folks to not have Wichita go into a situation where we are in defiance of the ozone regulations. So effective immediately, no outdoor burning for the month of April has been initiated. The Wichita Fire Department will enforce this rule. If somebody calls because they see smoke or somebody's burning something in their backyard, such as a pile of limbs or a pile of brush, using a chimenea, using an outdoor fire pit, or conducting any other type of burn, we will try to educate them first about the rule. We do have the option of issuing a citation. We would much rather educate folks about what we're doing than issuing a citation, but we can issue a citation. All burn permit holders have been notified. All of their permits have been suspended until the month of May. Are there any questions about my end of it before we go to Kay and her discussion about the ozone and air quality?
Brad, this is for Sedgwick County and Wichita.
Our ban is for Wichita, strictly for Wichita.
Okay.
Sedgwick County Fire has also issued a burn ban, but their rules are a little bit different than ours. I don't want to speak to most of their things, but I do know that they will allow some burning, small piles. Some folks burn their rubbish, for example, in burn barrels, and they're going to continue to allow that to happen. Sedgwick County has a little different situation as well, where they have folks who do need to burn their grass off for the management of that land, and they will allow that to happen as well. But they're going to not allow for larger burn piles and things like that, similar to what we're doing.
And this is just because of the ozone levels. It has nothing to do because we've had plenty of rain.
Correct. Well, we've had some rain. We're still behind even from last year with moisture content. Of course, during this time of year, there's still dead vegetation from over the winter. There's still issues with the wind. It's been blowing a little bit as of late. That does tend to dry things out. But we don't have a severe fire danger warning or red flag warning right now. The moisture's been nice, but we still want to encourage people to be safe, because anytime we do have an outdoor fire, the potential there for damaging other folks' property is great. So, but this is specifically in response to the air pollution situation and the regulations handed down by the state as it pertains to the air pollution.
Yeah. You mentioned chimeneas, they are out?
Yes, everything's out.
Yeah.
Chimeneas are out. Burn pits that you pick up from Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot are out. The only thing folks can use right now are their outdoor cooking grills. Any other questions? Okay, I'd like to introduce Kay Johnson.
Thank you, Brad. As Brad said, my name is Kay Johnson. I'm the manager of environmental initiatives for the City of Wichita. And the numbers speak for itself. The ozone results for last year put us very close to the non-attainment situation. So we know that everything that we can do right now to help mitigate this situation will help us. And our ozone season goes from April 1st to October 31st. So we are just now starting our ozone measuring season. That is for regulatory purposes. We also measure throughout the year, so we know the levels will get higher this year. Last year we had approximately 10 or 11 days that were over the current federal standard. It didn't put us in violation because the way we average 3 years. Our cool wet year was 2009, and that drops off. So we will be using 2010, 11, and then this year's will be 2012. So it's very important that we try to keep our ozone levels down as much as we possibly can. There are consequences to non-attainment. Not only does every day that we exceed the health-based standard, which is 0.075 parts per million, that's a health issue. We every day that we exceed that standard, that will be a health issue. If we also have enough numbers that average in, that cause us to exceed the federal standard, which would be this equation of averaging, then if we exceed that, that puts us into non-attainment and in violation with the federal standard, and that can be an economical issue as well. We can possibly have consequences to that, and that could be more regulation on our industry, additional regulations on the federal government, and we know the local government, we know that we would have to do highway conformancy, which means we will have to do modeling anytime we had a transportation project. It's possible that we could have to have tailpipe emissions testing for vehicles. So we know this is a problem. We've known it for decades. We are very, very close to exceeding the standard. I've handed you a couple of pieces of material. One of them is the 10 tips, some of the things that people can do to help in this situation. And we've had very good luck in the Wichita area. People like to do voluntary initiatives. We're not a community that likes mandates. So if everyone would help us pull together and just adopt a few of these activities. If you see a couple of cars in the drive-through lane at the restaurant, just go in, park your car and go in. Don't sit in the lane and idle. Transportation emissions is one of the greatest sources of emissions that we have in our community. So anything you can do to reduce idling. We also have handed you an idle reduction policy. The City of Wichita has passed an idle reduction policy, and we're asking businesses and organizations to voluntarily adopt that. That covers our fleet and employees. Anytime that you can reduce your idling, you're saving money and saving resources, as well as keeping the air pollution down. So some of those things are important in this regard. People can fill up your cars after 6. The way the ozone bakes and cooks in the community, it's better if you do these kind of activities, lawn mowing and everything, after 6, so that it's in the evening instead of in the early morning hours. Because of the transport of ozone into our area from the Flint Hills, April is a concerning month for us. But we also have transport of ozone into our community from other places such as Houston, Dallas, and Oklahoma City and Tulsa, depending on which way the wind is blowing. So not only do we have a contribution, but other communities have a contribution, and that's the reason we have federal regulations. These are federal regulations that we have to follow, and they're health-based, so it impacts our health and it can impact our economy. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to take them.
So Cam, so there, farmers and ranchers up there in the Flint Hills are okay to burn?
They are allowed to burn in April because we have a smoke management plan. We have done a lot of education with farmers and ranchers in that area. I've participated, the state of Kansas has participated, as well as the Farm Bureau and the Ranchers and Livestock Association. So they know what we're trying to accomplish. We want to spread out the burning instead of have it concentrated on one day. And they tried to help us out last year. They're trying to help us out this year. And some of them are choosing to alternate their burn patterns so that they're not burning every year. That will also help. We're all in this together. It's not an us versus them. We understand about the Flint Hills burning, and they understand about our urban issues with our ozone standards. So Kansas City's in the same situation, as well as Omaha and other major cities that can be impacted by the Flint Hills burning.
How did they do last year? I mean, as far as did they work on spreading out the burning?
We actually did. We did ask them to burn before April 1st, and if you recall, I think it was March 24th, we had a significant ozone contribution from burning, but they tried. They burned before April 1st. Our ozone standard kicks in on April 1st. So we know they've heard our message, and we've heard their message. It's important to be able to use burning as a tool.